is Hank Yoo. Yes, that's right, Hank Yoo. And he'll be called as a prosecution witness, validate evidence or validate their presence, saying, hey, is that you in this photo? Is that you in this video? So that is possible to come up in the next trial. And right before the trial, he's been hit with a new charge.
Guys, we've got a big update about Hank Yoo. As you know, Johnny Somali has already become the main target of the South Korean court and officials, but this time Hank Yoo has also been dragged into the mess. Since Hank Yoo is Johnny Somali's closest ally, the court is now targeting him as well. There are many rumors swirling that Hank Yoo is trying to escape and flee South Korea, but that's not actually happening. The court is now seriously and aggressively monitoring Hank Yoo. What he's doing, where he's going, and his connection to the case are all under scrutiny. Johnny Somali's next trial is coming up soon, and Hank Yoo will also appear as a witness. The court is expected to question whether Hank Yoo was directly involved in Johnny Somali's alleged crimes. Hank Yoo in serious trouble. If the court presses him with hard questions, he may have no good answers, and he could face serious consequences. Most online articles, news media, and viral posts are now confirming that Hank Yoo will indeed be both a witness and a target of the court. What Hank Yoo has done with Johnny Somali in the past is also a concern. Not only that, Hank Yoo is reportedly under investigation by South Korean police as part of a newly reopened case against Johnny Somali. This makes Hank Yoo one of the biggest targets for both the police and the court right now. Even the channel Legal Mindset has explained how the court is now targeting Hank Yoo, how he'll be a witness in Johnny Somali's next trial, and why this is such a big deal. This isn't just a routine court procedure. When you look closely, it's clear the authorities are treating Hank Yoo's involvement as serious and far-reaching.
We'll focus on 3 witnesses. We know one of them is Bong Bong. We know another is Youngman. And the last, we are pretty sure, is Hank Yoo. Yes, that's right, Hank Yoo. And he'll be called as a prosecution witness. In America, you sometimes call this a hostile witness. So you're bringing that person up mostly to validate evidence or validate their presence, saying, hey, is that you in this photo? Is that you in this video? So that is possible to come up in the next trial. And then you would have, of course, cross-examination. You'd have a redirect or re-examination.
As you've heard from Legal Mindset, Hank Yoo will be questioned by the court during Johnny Somali's next trial. He's expected to testify on all of the evidence connected to Johnny Somali. If the court finds proof that Hank Yoo was actually involved in the same crimes as Johnny Somali, you can imagine how serious the consequences could be for him. And it doesn't stop there. The next trial is shaping up to be a complete nightmare for both Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo.
Thought it was going to be Dalgoon, but actually it looks like it's going to be Hank. So that's what we got on October 29th. This is going to be a big day because remember, every single trial that we've had coming up over the past year for Johnny Somali, right before the trial, whether it's 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even 1 week, he's been hit with a new charge.
As I explained in my last video, Hank Yoo will not be able to flee South Korea this time, and if he tries, he could face a travel ban. This time, Hank Yoo is completely stuck under the watch of South Korean authorities. Why is Hank Yoo being targeted now? There are many reasons. First, Hank Yoo lied to the court about Johnny Somali's whereabouts. During a previous trial, he misled the court about Johnny Somali's location.
I'm not so out of his safety. I never said that I approve of everything that Johnny does. What he was doing, I think he should have gotten criminally trespassed. Done. I'm not going to mention where Johnny is right now.
This manipulation helped Johnny Somali evade legal consequences at the time. Later, it was discovered that Hank Yoo had indeed lied about Johnny Somali's location, and he was confronted about it in court.
That he still actually lives at Hank's house. So, because Hank is going on to say, oh, Johnny does not live with me, I do not help Johnny anymore, I'm not associated with him anymore. Apparently, that's not true.
This proved to the authorities that Hank Yoo could mislead them at any time, and that he might be a key enabler of Johnny Somali's attempts to avoid justice.
This stuff that Johnny has done in Korea would not be possible without allies that were in Korea. In fact, if Hank was not there when the police came several times, I guarantee you this would have been stopped early.
Because of this, the court now views Hank Yoo as someone who can no longer be left unchecked. That's the point here. If the court doesn't take action against Hank Yoo, he could be the reason Johnny Somali once again escapes full punishment. But one thing is clear. You should never believe Hank Yoo. Never trust him. He's a liar just like Johnny Somali. What he says and what he does never match. And now people are starting to see that he's making everything worse, which is honestly disgusting. Just look at some of the comments people are leaving about Hank Yoo. One person said the interview interview Hank did actually caused more damage to him than anything else before. And I agree 100% that Johnny and Hank have committed crimes on their own live streams multiple times. Another person said Hank's body language clearly showed he was lying when asked about Somali's whereabouts, and again, I agree. Someone else said Hank is going to face massive backlash very soon, and it's going to be brutal. And plenty of people are straight up saying Hank and Johnny are both pure evil. And honestly, I can't argue with that. That's the truth.
People are now heavily criticizing Hank Yoo for what he did, and if you look closely, even in the video right after Johnny's court hearing, when a streamer tried to ask something about Johnny Somali, Hank Yoo refused to answer, almost acting like he was Johnny Somali's protector.
Yo, Johnny! Johnny, quick interview? No, I guess they don't want to. Johnny!
But remember, this is the same Hank who once said he wasn't responsible for Johnny Somali's safety.
I'm not so out of his safety.
So now people aren't confused anymore. If Hank is standing beside Johnny, then Johnny can keep doing anything he wants, making the situation worse with Hank's support.
And that's why the court is now fully targeting Hank Yoo from every angle. It's not just about what he allegedly did with Johnny Somali, although that's the main reason, but there's more to it. Hank Yoo has repeatedly disrespected South Korea and its freedom, which is considered a serious offense there.
Korea should not be independent of either China or America because Korea will be poor as you know? So Korea cannot afford to make either America or China its enemy. Korea is best by maintaining military alliance with America and economic cooperation with China. Yeah. So therefore, I'm a centrist.
On top of that, while South Korea requires mandatory military service, Hank Yoo has openly refused to join and has mocked South Korea very harshly. Seeing all of this together, the court appears to have had enough. They're no longer willing to tolerate more of Hank Yoo's actions or statements. That's why they're now gathering all his clips and alleged crimes in one place, which could potentially lead to even more charges against Hank Yoo. At the same time, Hank is still criticizing the South Korean legal system, but his main point is clear: get Johnny Somali out of the country for good.
Alright, I never said that I approve of everything that Johnny does. To get charged with it and to be stuck in a country, like a foreign country, for like this many months, that's that's way more.
And that's where things stand right now. With Hank Yoo officially being pulled into the spotlight alongside Johnny Somali, the stakes for this next trial have never been higher. For months, people thought Hank Yoo would stay in the background. Now, he's been dragged right into the center of the storm. Whether Hank Yoo ends up as just a witness or faces his own charges, one thing is becoming clear. South Korean officials are done looking the other way. They're piecing together everything and tightening the net. This trial could decide not only Johnny Somali's future, but also Hank Yoo's. So as we head toward the next court date, the pressure is only going to grow. Supporters and critics alike are waiting to see what testimony, evidence, and revelations will come out. Will Hank Yoo's words help Johnny Somali, or will they expose an even bigger scandal? Will this trial open the door to more investigations or bring the whole case to a close? We'll be following every development, every leak, and every twist in this story. If you've been watching from the beginning, you already know this is no longer just about one streamer. It's about an entire network of actions and consequences finally being brought into the light.